My stepfather was really hard. This was recent, just last week actually.
Right.
He stepped into my life when I was 12 years old. My biological father, as a kid, he was kind of in and out of my life. Somebody had me in a joint manipulation. As I'm rolling, my foot's popping. And then afterwards, the ref and the competitor I went against, they're like, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. They're like, your foot was facing the other way. I'd have to say for bodybuilding, definitely Steven Kendrick. I remember when I was retired, and I was judging, and he came out, and I said, I want to get on stage with that guy. Don't listen to anybody that tries to shoot down your dreams. Use it as fire. You know, let that light your fire to go for your dreams. Go out there, do it. Try to become your best self. You know, and it might be something that you might do one show, and next thing you know, you're hooked, and you know you're one of the top competitors.
What's one of your biggest, kind of wildest moments that you remember that has to do with the IPL?
Wow. Am I allowed to say some of this stuff on? I'm 5'9". It just depends. I usually, and for bodybuilding, I came in pretty small. I think I was between 154 and 156. I've been as low as 149 for athletic, and I've been as big as 165. So,
on stage.
So I've been between between 150 to 165.
Since you've been competing in the IPL, what has been the highest body weight that you started your prep at?
Started my prep 180. I want to say I was 188, 186, 188 around
and then
that.
went down to what?
For that one, I think that's the one where I went for the pro card, where I got the pro card in bodybuilding. So it was that 2020.
What was your body weight on stage then?
156.
What, like 30 pounds you're playing with there?
Yeah, so
at 5'9"?
Yeah, I went from
Nice.
186, 188 to 156.
Do you count macros? Do you count calories or track macros?
I do.
What's that like? What are your...
Usually I try to get, at the highest, I'm at 240 grams of protein that I'm taking in per. So it goes down. You know, with my nutrition coach, we kind of track what I'm at, and then usually depending on what I'm looking like,
Right.
is usually if she would have me, go.
So you're about macros, you're not calories. So I mean, those macros add up to calories.
It
so
adds up.
What type of what's your calorie count looking like?
Usually about 20. When I'm starting off, I'm about 27, between 24 to 2,700. I get as low as about 2,100.
That's not bad.
Which, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but I only do about an 8-week prep.
Right.
I don't do the traditional 12 to 16.
Right.
I try to walk around pretty lean in the off season.
Right.
So.
What are your protein sources? Your preferred protein sources? Proteins, carbs, and fats. What are your favorites?
Usually with my protein, it's usually whole foods. So I'm taking in my beef.
Right. Red meat.
I take in red meat. Okay. That's usually once a day.
Right.
All my other protein.
What is that, like a burger or like?
No, it's usually I take in anywhere from 6 to 8 ounces
of
ground beef. Ground beef. Yeah, ground beef. I usually, for me, this is one tip I usually do. I usually get the 80-20.
Right.
And rinse it, so it kind of keeps the cost down. So
what do you mean rinse it?
I rinse it off. So what I'll do is I'll cook it all up,
right,
and then I'll put it in a strainer and I'll put it under the faucet and I'll rinse it thoroughly.
What does that do? Just get more fat out?
It gets the fat out.
So it's a cheaper meat because the fat is higher.
It's a cheaper means to, yeah.
So
instead of buying a 93.7 or 95.5, I'm buying,
that's the thing.
It's more, it's a lot, it's a lot more affordable. Rinse it all out, and now I'm getting it down into that 90%.
I don't really eat beef, but I legit learned something. I never heard of that before, man. That's awesome.
And then chicken, obviously, I'm taking in 8 to 9 grams of or 8 to 9 ounces of chicken per meal with that. So,
what's your training schedule like? Do you do workout split? Are you doing like chest, back, legs, arms, shoulders?
Yeah.
The 5-day split, or what do you?
Yeah, I'm usually trying to isolate specific muscles. So with bodybuilding, I've really, like I told you before, I really tried to catch my legs up to my upper. So I was up to work on my legs 3 times a week. Upper body, I was only working maybe 2 times a week. And just kind of dissecting those muscles. Maybe like back and buys I was putting together. Chest and tries, right. Shoulders were separate. Sometimes if I did upper chest and I was working shoulders with that, so.
Are you a cardio guy?
No.
You don't do cardio?
Not much, very little. The only times I would do cardio was to get my hamstrings and my glutes popping a little bit more. So maybe I would get on a stair stepper, you know,
So you're not a regular cardio
I'm really not.
guy.
I mean, even when I was training a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what I would do is that was my cardio,
Right.
was
Yeah,
my
that
rounds.
makes sense. Yeah.
You know, as far as cardio, getting on equipment, I mean, a couple of times a week I was doing 20 minutes to stair stepper.
A lot of people would be very upset and jealous about that. Everyone's different, though. You know,
They get jealous to see what I eat right before the show too.
right.
But
That's a nice segue. Your favorite cheat meal, and I think I already know. I know your favorite maybe cheat item,
yeah,
food item, but do you have a favorite cheat meal?
I like my barbecue.
Okay.
I like my barbecue. The traditional cheeseburger and fries. I love that.
Cheesecake?
Obviously. Cheesecake's
That's
my
what
dessert.
right,
That's my
right.
dessert.
That's not a
It's my
meal, right,
cheesecake.
right.
Yep.
Nice. Let's talk personal.
All right.
You lost your father several years ago.
Yeah.
Around the same time I actually lost my father.
Yeah.
And you recently lost your stepfather.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, back in 2022, I lost my dad, and that was hard, you know. My stepfather was really hard. This was recent, just last week actually, because you know he wasn't my biological father, but he stepped into my life when I was 12 years old. So you know, and my biological father, you know, I had a good relationship with him, you know, for I'd say 2004 on to when he passed. But as a kid, he was kind of in and out of my life.
Right.
You know, my stepdad came into my life at 12, and he was always there, and you know, he's great to my mom. We butted heads a lot, but the thing with him is you know, especially with bodybuilding and you know, my jiu-jitsu career, he's always been really supportive. You know, he always wanted to, you know, everybody. As I got older, everybody kind of tried to retire me, I guess, to say like, you know, you're too old for this, or you know, when is, you know, and he was always, you know, the one to say like, oh, let me see the pictures, and oh, you got to keep going, and this and that. So that was big to me, you know. So that was and then you know, he was always good to my mom. So,
well, my condolences, man. I know we were chatting a little bit during this time, and I know how hard it is, man. So my deepest condolences, and it's really fresh and recent. So
yeah,
my condolences.
Thank you.
On a lighter note, you got married recently.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Obviously, I've given you many congratulations.
Yeah,
since
thank
then.
you.
What's it like, man? Remarried. Second time being married?
Second marriage.
Okay, I'm not even on my first, but I mean, second time. Awesome. Beautiful wife. Lovely person. She's here. She's here out in the crowd somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, she's great.
What's that like, man?
It's good. It's great. You know, you know, it's my best friend. So, you know, you get to share a lot of great moments together, and you know, both of our children are grown up, but we get to spend a lot of time with them, and the time we spend together. I mean, it's great. I couldn't have asked for a better partner, a better wife, and you know, she challenges me, you know, with things, and she's beautiful, but also, you know, there's a lot of substance to our relationship, our conversations, and you know, so there's really never a dull moment with us.
Awesome. So, congratulations, man. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
BJJ, right? You're big in BJJ. What are some of your biggest accomplishments there, like that stand out to you?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The biggest accomplishment for me was a couple of weeks ago promoting my son to his black belt.
That's right. Congratulations. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and that was a 16. He started when he was 7, so he's going to be 23 years this year. So that was big for me. You know, before that, I thought that my biggest accomplishment would be when I got my black belt. You know, it took me 11 and a half years to get to that level. But that's, you know, as far as that goes, that kind of trumps my accomplishment. Individual accomplishment, I'd say I've won IBJJF gold. I've won an IBJJF championship in Miami back in 2011 as a brown belt. You know, and IBJJF is pretty much that's the premier league organization in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So anytime you could win gold in that organization, you're going against the very top. And then I'd say the other one was in 2018. Then I had a super fight at the Rialto Theater in Tucson.
Nice.
And it was the first time all three of my kids were there,
Yeah,
and
you
they
telling
saw
me
me.
about
And,
that.
you know, and I won that match, and that was a big deal. And after that, I pretty much retired from jiu-jitsu competition. So that was a good way to go out on a high note.
Nice.
And then as far as just, students' goals and student accomplishments, I've had kids win Pan American championships, and that was a big deal. World championships. My son Dorian, he won a national championship at purple belt. So that was, I think we actually did a magazine article on that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So that was big. So, there's a lot of things to look back on and be proud of.
What's the worst injury you sustained during BJJ, a match or practice or whatever? What's your worst BJJ injury?
I've had a lot of injuries.
What's
but
the worst?
Very worst, probably in a match, I got caught in a toe hold and really hurt a lot of ligaments in my ankle. So I was out for a while.
Toe hold?
A toe hold. I was caught in a
What is
foot lock.
that? Oh, okay.
A foot lock. Somebody had me in a joint manipulation, and I tried to tough out of it, and I kept trying to roll to get out of bounds, and as I'm rolling, my foot's popping.
Nice.
And then after,
That's
and
fun.
then I had to tap, and I should have tapped a lot sooner. And then afterwards, the ref and the competitor I went against, they were like, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. They're like, your foot was facing the other way. So I thought I was fine. I went back into the bleachers, and probably 20 minutes later, I mean, my ankle was probably about 4 times the size of being normal. And I was supposed to compete the next day, and I was like, I can't do it. Like, I couldn't even walk. So
What's the worst injury you sustained from bodybuilding?
bodybuilding? I'm trying to think. I mean, I've had little small tears.
Right.
I'd say the worst is right after I got my pro card in bodybuilding. I never took time off.
Right.
And I was doing glute thrusts, and I was doing pendulum squats, and I had the worst pain on my back, and then it moved into my groin. And I was doing construction at the time, so I remember walking up a ladder, and I would feel like I was getting electrocuted. And I was like, what's going on? And I had so much scar tissue, like in my groin area, just from working out for so many years, that it feels like stones are underneath my skin. So I couldn't even tell if I had a hernia or anything like that, because it's always bumpy in there. But
it's always bumpy in there.
But no
nice.
pun. But it turned out that it was my psoas. My psoas was so hurt, and that kind of wraps around your glute into your groin and your upper quad, and I guess it was pinching. So that took me a little while to get that. And another competitor who's a nurse, Stephen Kendrick, he was telling me, he's like, man, you just got to rest it. He goes, that's just one of those injuries where you just got to kind of take your time with it. So
nice. Just curious.
But that was scary. It was a scary thing. So I
Yeah.
was like, do I have a hernia? Do I have and I'm reading all this stuff about hernias saying you have to get it fixed, or
Right.
you could die from it. And, so
You die from a hernia?
that's what it said, because I guess because it pushes through your organ. And
Nice.
So, but it turned out, I mean, it healed eventually. So
Talk about the impact of your boys. Your boys, I've met them, gotten a chance to hang out with all of them, but especially your 2 oldest, great guys. They help out at the IPL. They're like IPL family, great guys. Tell me about the impact that the boys have on you.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. They've been very supportive from the beginning. Jiu-Jitsu, they've been supportive with that, and they really didn't have a choice because they were in it too. But as far as bodybuilding goes, I remember when I was 40. I want to say 40 or 41 was when I went back into bodybuilding and went to the IPL. And I didn't really have huge expectations at that time. I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump in novice. I'm going to go masters and open for the pro qualifiers for athletic. And I told Kason, my middle son, I said, you know what? I said, if I happen to get a pro card, I'm like, I'll buy you a game, a video game or whatever.
Nice.
And he's like, okay, and this and that. And then I remember I went out there to Florida, and I won both pro cards.
Nice.
And I come back, and the first thing he says is, he's like, yeah, so do I get 2 games?
Right.
So,
obviously.
I couldn't break my promise, but they've been supportive. They've grown up in it. They've been a part of it since they were younger. And now they're all adults. You know, my youngest is going to be 17, but they've been there, you know, the whole time. So
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, they're great guys, great boys. You and I have traveled around the country for years now, judging IPL shows. I'm doing the media, but we've had a great bond and we've hung out and we've had some great experience and some crazy experiences.
Some really crazy
as well.
ones, yeah.
What's one of your biggest, kind of wildest moments that you remember that has to do with the
man.
IPL?
wow. Am I allowed to say some of this stuff on
Yeah,
it?
why not? We can always edit it out. We can edit, man.
Oh man.
What are you gonna say?
I mean, there's a lot of crazy ones. I'd say some of the I would have to say some of the how we had to improvise with a lot of things. Obviously the first Sacramento show we did,
man.
where the medals didn't get there on time, and they were going to get delivered the morning of, like
Right.
within an hour of the show.
Yeah.
So we were
They
waiting.
did
at the
get
theater.
delivered. They did come.
They came.
Like
They came.
minutes before. Yeah.
They came, yeah, but I'd say that was one of them. I'd say the one same show, the photo shoot, where I don't think they were going to let us use the area for the to do the photo shoot, so we had to basically turn our room into a studio.
That was fun.
And it was, and we're moving furniture around and moving TVs and cabinets and dressers,
Yeah.
and you know, so
that was super fun though, man.
yeah, we had to improvise with that. And I remember having to move the competitors' cars because they were parked in that one parking garage that was near the hospital.
Right.
And they could only stay there for a little bit. So, you know, I'm moving everybody's car. I felt like I was like valet service. But
Awesome.
but that was, you know.
It's been a great run, man. Hopefully it's just the beginning, man. I'm sure we have many more years, but
Oh, yeah.
it's been awesome, man. Who are some of your biggest influence? Give me one person, your biggest influence inside the sport or not, or outside.
Inside the sport, I'd have to say for bodybuilding, definitely Steven Kendrick. I remember when I was retired and I was judging and he came out, and I can't remember who one of my judges was. I think it was Danielle Pala. And I was like, I said, I want to get on stage with that guy. I said, I wonder if I can get back into, go for the bodybuilding pro card. And if I could get that card, go against that guy. I think it would be a good matchup. So he really inspired me. And then even the prep, when we were doing the real IPL, and it was basically myself and Patrick, pitted up against each other, going for that pro card, and Steven was also a part of it. Who's going to be going against Steven,
Right.
type thing. And he reached out to me a lot, and was like, good luck, man. You look like you're killing it. It'll be an honor to get on stage with you and things like that. So that
Awesome.
was big, So,
Awesome. Let's do some quick, fun Q&A. All right.
All right.
If you had to do only one exercise for the rest of your life, what would it be, and why?
Oh man, only exercise. Let's say hack squats. It's a love-hate relationship because I know they're working, and I know I get good results from them, but they hurt.
I already know the answer to this next one, but favorite post-contest guilty pleasure meal?
Definitely cheesecake. Definitely sweet tea, diabetic tea, as sweet as you can get it. It used to be maybe a cheeseburger and fries or some type of Italian food. Now that I married my wife and she's Latina, I'd have to say something that she would make, some type of Mexican food.
Nice. What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
My younger self, don't listen to anybody that tries to shoot down your dreams. Don't use it as fire. Let that light your fire to go for your dreams.
Describe the IPL in just 3 words.
3 words. Different than others.
Nice. I like it. What's a piece of advice you would give to someone that's thinking about competing in the IPL?
Competing in IPL, do it. Do it. If it's on your mind, if it's something that you want to cross off of your bucket list, be prepared, but go out there, do it. Try to become your best self. And it might be something that you might do one show, and next thing you know, you're hooked, and you're one of the top competitors.
You've been featured in a dozen, probably, magazine articles, interviews, several magazine covers. Which one of those features, either a cover or an interview article, whatever it is, which is your favorite?
There'll probably be two. Okay, so probably, well, maybe more.
Give me two.
Okay, I'd say
we gotta let's hone in.
Feature had to be with Dorian when he won that national championship.
Yep.
Just to do a shoot with him and then an interview back and forth.
Yeah.
And then I would probably say magazine cover. I'd say probably the athletic magazine #2, because I was going through a lot at that time, and my goal was I wanted to get onto a cover, and it was kind of therapeutic getting ready for that shoot, because I prepared for that shoot as if it was a show.
Right. You look great, man. That was a great look for you. I remember you came out. I was like, bro, you're ready. You're ready for the stage.
Yeah.
That's one of your best looks.
Yeah.
Even compared to the stage. Like
Yeah.
that was a great look. That was a great cover. Finally, this is something I want to do. I learned this from another interviewer, podcaster. Leave a question for the next guest. Whoever that next guest is, what question should we ask them?
Next guest. What was the turning point or the thing that made you want to compete in the sport of bodybuilding or physique competition?
Awesome. I like it. All right, man, that was awesome. What's next for you? What is next? I mean, you got some judging to do. But
yeah.
What's happening in the very near future for Marc Monaco?
Near future, we got the Connecticut. We're going to be doing Connecticut IPL in a few weeks. I'm actually getting ready with my wife Audrey for a photo shoot out there too, because it's Connecticut and it's something that we kind of wanted to do together. Then we turn around and we come right back to Arizona and do the Phoenix show.
Nice.
So.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Hi, guys. Thank you for watching the episode. I really hope you enjoyed the conversation. I am Ben Yosef, the president and founder of the IPL and the host of the IPL Podcast. I just wanted to jump in here quick with a production note. The IPL Podcast was designed with 2 camera angles, one on the guest and one on me. Without going into a long story, the camera on me was not working properly. Of course, I didn't realize this until after a full day of production. The good news is the guest camera is perfect and all the audio is perfect. So for the next few episodes from that day, you're only going to see the guest on camera, and I will be off camera asking the questions. The issue with that camera is of course fixed, so we're going to have both camera angles moving forward. If you want to support the IPL Podcast, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you want more IPL interviews, click the playlist in the link above. Thank you again for watching, and thank you all for being here with us.